So at this time, we will entertain item 8G, which is the textbook adoption committee item that Dr. Solomon extracted from the consent agenda. So, Yorm, would you like to speak to this? Or
yes.
Your question, and then I'll turn it over.
Motion first.
Yes. And I was about to start with, so we can start the discussion.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve. Okay, I guess now we call it item 8G.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
And really what I wanted, I asked Jim before if he'd be willing for the benefit of people here and the viewers to explain the process of adopting new textbooks, the process of adopting, and where does the public and the community have the opportunity to participate in that, and how?
Certainly, I'll take you through the process, and actually, you may have actually seen some of this on the news recently. So the process actually starts. Most of the time we think about the local step, but the process actually starts in our state at the state level. It's one of the things that our State Board of Education. So last year we actually had a bye year where we didn't adopt new materials, which was very unusual. But because our state funds the majority of the purchase of this, they do it through a proclamation that's issued by the State Board of Education. So when you talk about opportunities for public input, there's an opportunity first at that proclamation level, at the state process. So they determine largely based on a kind of a calendar they put together and the goal is to adopt new resources. When we say textbooks, we use the textbooks in quotes now because a lot of these are electronic resources, but they try to be on about a 7 or 8 year cycle where we get new resources for courses and grade levels about every 7 or 8 years. So after that, and through that state process, there are state committees that are formed that review, and then the state creates a list of approved materials. So that's really the first big step in the process. Then our process locally starts really in November typically, and the first official act is to approve the district textbook committee. That's the official committee that makes a recommendation to the board. Then in terms of the public input, I'd say we post this information on our district website. That's one place that we connect people to the process, both our internal staff as well as community members. And then as well as PTA. So we go through, we connect through the PTA council and try to get representatives from campus level to give input. I'd say the big piece, and I'm going to look at the exact dates here. So this year in the process, we actually have a link, because many of these things, even if we're getting paper copies of things in addition to the electronic portion, there's an electronic portion. There's a link, and so the period that those are able to be viewed by the public is December 1st through January 31st. And there's actually a link on our district webpage that gives you that form if parents want to have input about elements of those resources. They actually complete that form, and then that information goes to the subcommittees that and I apologize, maybe I didn't talk about this part. So after we form the district committees, the real work of this, the detailed review, is done by teacher leaders, and so this is a very representative process. So we have subject coordinators, grade level coordinators, and lead teachers that we identify put together a subcommittee. They spend months reviewing those materials. They take the input from the public. They go through a review matrix that they do based on the standards and all the objectives they have for those want those resources to perform. Then those subcommittees present those recommendations to the district textbook committee. Then in turn, that district textbook committee brings that recommendation to you as a board. This year that would happen in at the April 4th meeting is what we're scheduled to do.
So as a member of the public, around the December 1st timeframe, there is going to be a form. I can go there, fill the form. I will have about 2 months to submit comments, and then they will be reviewed by the subcommittee.
Yeah, a form as well as access to the materials themselves.
Right.
Yes.
Thank you.